John Wall is 26 years old. I am sorry, NBA world, NBA fans, viewers of TYT Sports. I had a misstep in my Kyrie Irving video where I called John Wall 28 years old. Lots of facts I was trying to shove into a small clip. No excuses. I play like a champion. My mistake won't happen again. But it did spark something interesting within my rabid missing of the NBA and having withdrawal symptoms from not having it on every night. And that is, with a player like LeBron James or a team like the Warriors, is John Wall potentially the best point guard in the NBA, very much just given a superstar? John Wall is the superstar of the Wizards, but the players we talk about all the time have multiple superstars in a team. Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan, first team, All-NBA last year. But again, I'm just saying, all-stars. All-stars, perennial all-stars, very good. And Bradley Beal's a little bit banged up regularly, 55 games, that type of thing. So we're going to get into a little discussion about John Wall. I think it's fair. I think I'm going to give you guys a devoted John Wall clip, watch a lot of tape, a little bit of B-ball breakdown from Coach Nick. Always go over to B-ball breakdown and watch his breakdowns. They're amazing. Oh, much love for Coach Nick, as always. But I wanted to go into John Wall because SI's top 100 ranked him 17th. I think that's pretty appropriate placement. However, at just turning 26 years old, he just turned 26. The one thing I was using for Kyrie was his age as such an advantage over a lot of other guards. Still so much development to be done. Where could he be? Well, John Wall is kind of right in that same area, right? 26 compared to Kyrie's 24.5 aren't that far off. So I looked first, of course, at the depth chart going into next season. John Wall, Bradley Beal, Otto Porter Jr., Markieff Morris, Marcin Gortat. It's not the overwhelming, oh my God, the Washington Bullets have turned into the Washington nuclear weapons and they're going to take over the NBA by blowing every team out of the water. No, not that. But they do have a secret weapon, a secret bullet, a secret sniper, Scotty Brooks. And Scotty Brooks is phenomenal at developing, well, for one, young players and getting a lot out of his backcourt. I like Scotty Brooks. I don't think he ever has enough in him to get you over the hump of winning, let's say, a conference finals. I know he did with the Thunder, but getting you to the point of winning a championship. But I think he can get your team to the point where they will be ready to. And I would hope Scotty Brooks proves me wrong. So I wanted to go a little bit more into John Wall because there's actually only 1.5 things John Wall would need to improve pretty greatly to be thrown right into the conversation right now with Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, and Chris Paul. And that's his shooting. We know John Wall's not a great shooter, okay? 35% last year from three, 42% from the field. But how much work are we talking about here to get him to 40% from three, 45.5% from the field? It seems like a big jump. It's really not. Mathematically, you're talking about hitting 30 to 50 more shots compared to last year, which would also, of course, raise his points per game. But here's a guy who's a 20 and 10 guy in terms of points and assists. I love how he can see the way plays develop. It's another thing I picked up while watching a lot of tape of last year's John Wall. There's a slight amount of over-dribbling. I'm curious if other people see this, where he's looking and looking and looking to find the play that's going to develop in front of him. However, when John Wall doesn't over-dribble and makes a play for himself because he's a phenomenal playmaker, he can make cutting to the rim look the easiest out of anybody in the NBA because he does find ways to lure multiple defenders towards him. And if he can't find the pick-and-roll cutter, if he can't find, the pick-and-roll center who's going to go and roll towards the basket, if he can't find an open Bradley Beal, if he can't find another player on his team because they're not moving so much, it's a problem I saw in the 2013-2014 Wizards was a stagnant offense in a way. John Wall can just create for himself. He's pretty damn good at finishing at the rim. He's a long and pesky defender. He's still one of the fastest guards in the NBA. And one of the major things to look forward to in watching the Wizards this year is the fact that on last year's Wizards, they were a high-paced team, but were 19th in offensive efficiency, and a major problem also was getting back on defense. Scotty Brooks knows how to play a high-pace offense, and you have, who you would think, one of the best high-paced guards in the league in John Wall. So, a handful of things John Wall would have to improve. It's just interesting because he's been in the league for enough time that you would hope or would have thought at this point that if he was going to develop a better jump shot, it would have happened by now. But obviously, work ethic, things could change, new coaching system. it's not out of the question that he raises those percentages. Just improving on him and showing that there is growth still and more development under John Wall, yes, then you can start throwing him into that conversation of where does John Wall rank in terms of the top 3 point guards. Chris Paul's getting older. Seems like it's Steph Curry and Russell Westbrook for the next 2 years. Tough to argue against that. And again, I'm a huge fan of Chris Paul. I think how he slows down time and that whole entire way he plays as a pure point guard, it's just eventually age will catch up with him. So, and he's on the other side of 30. So compared to a John Wall and Kyrie Irving, they're younger. So I realized too, if you combine John Wall and Kyrie Irving, then do you have the greatest ever point guard to play the game of basketball? Maybe. And to the point of, imagine just quickly for a second, if John Wall played on the Warriors and Steph Curry played on the Wizards. John Wall would be averaging, 18 assists per game? Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson, they ain't going to miss, right? Imagine if you play with LeBron James, so much space on the floor, obviously preaching transition basketball and getting back on defense, and John Wall being, like I said, a long defender, all in his favor. So apologies for calling John Wall 28 years old. But yeah, of course I read the comments. So I wanted to give you guys a clip on John Wall because I started getting very interested in learning more about John Wall, even though I thought I knew a decent amount about him in the first place. Also part of the one-and-done Kentucky team. John Wall, Eric Bledsoe, DeMarcus Cousins, and Tupat. If that team stayed together for another year, would they have lost a game of basketball? I don't think so. Don't think so for those who watch the Ali G show. Like, favorite, subscribe to the video. You can follow me at JasonRubin91 on Twitter and on Instagram.